crazy thing right here. Yeah, this truck is how all this started.
All right, new project. I call this
Kinda.
Jesse War Wagon. He calls it the Ray Charger. A lot of people oftenly confuse it for a Bronco or a Blazer, but no, it is a Dodge Ram Charger. It's half-ton Ram chassis with an SUV body.
Yep. Just like the one I think Rudy's off-road design.
Rudy's off-road design. He made one that he did the
Onyx Challenge.
The Onyx four-wheeler off-road challenge, and yeah, I've got 1-ton axles out of an '85 Ram, Magnum 360 out of a later model Ram, full custom wiring front to back that we've done. I've had this truck 15 years. Done a lot to it here and there. As you can see, the enormous bumper front, bumper on the rear, the axles, the engine. The only thing I haven't messed with on this truck is the main chassis and the body itself. The main body tub. Fenders, all that have been changed.
So with that being said, I mentioned this is how this all started out. So long story short, he was out for medical reasons, and this is when we first met. He needed someone to do some welding. Like, hey, I have a welder. And then it got pawned off on me.
Yeah, 135 amps with big 7018, I think it was.
To finally get this stuff to melt together and do beady weldy stuff. That was...
Yeah. That's the main body. This upper hoop is just Schedule 40 quarter wall 2.5-inch tube.
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier to weld.
Yeah, this is the brush guard portion. This is the business end of it. And the reason we say that is like all our other bumpers, we've tested this thing. We've messed with about every aspect of this thing. It has external transcoolers and power steering coolers, all that fun stuff.
In addition to the factory stuff.
Yep, so we haven't worked on this here in a little bit just because we've been doing other stuff, but if you know what, it's time to get this thing in better working order.
She needs some attention. She's been sitting for a bit. She's road legal, she's tagged, insured, all that. I just got to do some work with the alternator and the power steering brackets, a little bit of tuning, because...
Now, as far as the wiring goes, that was project number 2. I'm kind of anal about wiring. I opened this hood and about cried.
That was 72 hours of pure deliriousness.
So this truck's been rewired under the hood. We, just like the crawler, unpinned all the bulkhead, all the stuff in the bulkhead didn't need to be there. We went under the dash. Let me rephrase that. I went under the dash and spent about 3 days under there. Like, nope, that butt connector's gone. No, we're going to solder that. Oh my God, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
Yay.
But I'll give you a quick shot of the engine bay.
Alright, so,
Battery.
yeah. The engine is a 5.9 Magnum, 360 cubic out of a 95 1-ton Dodge truck. Stock bore and stroke. Heads have been massaged out. It's got a high-rise air gap intake, fuel injection headers. I'm running the LA front accessories just, well, because V-belts are simpler than serpentine belts in my opinion. That way you can lose one belt and still keep going. You can see the fuel injection standalone tank here that feeds the EFI under the air hat.
See,
MSD ignition. I mean,
back in the corner here.
Yeah, I mean it's what everybody does to small block engines of the era that are brave enough to actually build a Dodge to put in a Dodge, and they're not swapping one of those dumpster fires into them.
Oops, wrong one.
Yeah. The only reason it has a GM alternator, like we said, simple charging. It's simple to run. You don't need a regulator. It's all done. Less crap on the firewall.
Yep. So I don't know if you guys can see here. This alternator is actually cocked this way pretty bad. So we're gonna actually make our own brackets to go in here and straighten it out. Power steering's not as bad. It's way down over there.
It's not as. It still needs a bracket to hold it back against the block, but it's not as bad as the alternator.
We've put a lot of work into this truck over the past couple of years. It's time to get back on her, get her back up to par where we want her to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, listen, I mean, I'm a Ford guy at heart, but this truck's pretty bad. It really is.
It looks like hell, but I spent the money where it counted.
So basically, the purpose is this is an overlander. This is, for the most part, it has mud capabilities. Not a mud truck. It has crawling capabilities, but it's not a crawler. It is streetable, which Yay.
up to about 55, 60. You gotta remember, this thing was built when the national speed limit was only 55.
She gets a little loud.
So she just mainly needs cleaned, needs tuned, a few other things, and
You'll be right.
nothing some paint wouldn't hurt.
Pretty much door ring.
Like I said, the alternator, when it was sitting on the truck, it was cocked in real bad. I guess you could say, you know, it was cocked in real bad like this. We need it to hold straight. So, no big deal. So we're going to do, in my drawing here. Oof, that was rough. Essentially, we're going to take a piece of 1/4-inch plate. Get a pointer here. It's going to span between this bolt hole and I believe this one. Yeah, that's what we decided. Those 2 holes. Then we're going to take a piece of 1/4-inch, or excuse me, that's going to be the 1/4-inch plate. We're going to take a piece of DOM, or we're going to make a piece, a sleeve so to speak, that'll space it off the head to here. What about the front side? Double shear, right? We're actually going to bring this bracket up, cut the slots in it for this to sit in. These are the bolt hole. I know it's a crude drawing. So that's our solution for that alternator bracket. Essentially this week we're going to bounce back and forth between stuff, like the fuel tank for instance. Where'd it go? Turn it around again. Here's the top of the fuel tank, got the hole cut out. Welded those 2 together, ground them at least smooth for the first 3/4 of an inch. And of course this side, you know, whole thing. I'm still waiting on the fuel filler neck. Should be in a day or 2. But I'll put that on first and then get all this, try to get this top welded on. Okay, so what we got going on real quick. Alright. Ray's doing machiny stuff. I'll get you a zoom on that. So I'll come out here so you don't have to listen to that. The hole's countersunk 200 thousandths of an inch. Therefore, the threads will have full engagement about there. We're actually going to thread a little bit on the inside, and we got to make a land for that. So this log here will be essentially drilled or screwed into the top of the fuel tank, and have that jammed on top too. Double securement, yay! Well, like I said, Ray's finishing up on that because it's already jigged in there. We already have it all centered up, so we're just going to make that happen real quick. You can get that finished, yay! Then we can start. Let's see where to go. There's a piece of steel around here somewhere. I don't know where to put it. Oh, here it is. Duh, it's right in front of me. So that's essentially going to be our spacer. Same thing like last week. We'll true this end up, make it nice and flat and shiny, drill a hole through it, flip the other end, make it all nice and flat and shiny. So that's essentially what we got going on right now. I'm not going to bore you with the details of doing all that right now, just because what he's doing right now, that's going to take forever. We'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, new day. This little piece here kind of put us on the struggle bus yesterday.
Again.
Yeah, someone got a little greedy with the drill bit. It's hard to see what's down in there. Can't really get a good shot of it. But anyway, got a 1/4-inch bit stuck in this thing, broke it off. We're using that thing. And then we spent a couple hours trying to pound this thing out of there with punches and hammer, and we finally said the hell with it. And went and got a new piece this morning. So it kind of brought production to a halt. Oops. It happens. So with that being said, check that thing. We already got a new piece of rod. So this is what we got so far. Come on down here. So this little piece, just a piece 1/4-inch. I think it's 1.25 inches wide or whatever. No, inch wide by 3 or 4 inch or something like that. But anyway, I'm going to weld this to here. That's why it's all clamped and jigged so it doesn't move. This piece, granted, is way bigger than what we need. But essentially, it's right there. It'll weld to this little piece. We have a little cutout for the alternator. We have another piece of this round stuff. I'll get that to stand. They'll go up here for the double shear. So we're gonna try to get all this burned in real quick. I say real quick, nothing's ever real quick around here. Like the welder's gonna die on me as soon as I turn it on. So moving on to welding. Get her all welded. So yeah, that's our swing bracket. And on another note, we're tapping. So in between doing the alternator bracket and whatnot, we've been drilling and just tapping these 20 holes for our fuel tank. What we got left? Like 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So we're halfway there. So yeah, we're just, we got nothing better to do. Yeah, one of us will go over there and tap a couple holes or whatever, just try to make a little bit of progress on that because it's a nightmare. But, lo and behold, making progress. So yay.
So it's the end of the day. We've been working on this better part of the day as well as other stuff kind of in between. Hopefully tomorrow I'll actually be able to put my alternator back in and start the truck again. Be nice. I want to drive my truck. It's been sitting too long. It's,
She looks kind of angry.
She's getting kind of pissed off just sitting around doing nothing.
So story time. So this truck seems to have one hell of a personality.
Likes to draw blood too.
It's drawing a lot of blood. I'm pretty sure I have an imprint on the back of my head or my forehead somewhere with a brake pedal from doing the wiring on it. But still,
there's a whole other story on that one as well.
So
that was funny too.
we get her all rewired. It's okay. Let's take her for a drive. Let's see how she does. And this is when she was carbureted, so no big deal. So hop in there, go up, rip up the road, and then rip down the road, pull in.
Wide open throttle with my foot off the gas. Oops.
Brr. What the hell happened there? This thing about sent us down because it's a cul-de-sac like.
It nearly sent us into the neighbor's yard that doesn't really like me too much at the time anyway.
So come to find out, the throttle return spring left the chat about 3/4 of the way up the road.
Yeah.
I found it though. That's
Yeah,
the main thing.
It didn't get run over, which is surprising.
So it tried to kill us. I don't know. It got pissed off for some reason and decided, no, I'm not having this. There goes the return spring. Okay, it's Thursday, new day. Made it here. Hi. This thing's going on today. Yay.
Alright, so you can see we got the new alternator mounted in there. We're just working on the tensioner bracket now. It's nice, solidly mounted. Should work for us pretty well. And we got the light bar mounted up on top of the cab. Still waiting for more lights to come in for that. That'll happen in time.
So that there be the tensioner bracket. We got it hanging off this little stand right now just so it can be, let the paint dry.
Outside.
Alright, so it's in. We got swing, sweep, lined up pretty good, it looks like. Ain't all twisted to hell like it was before. Yeah, that's somehow how it's going to sit. So yay, one problem solved. But lo and behold, Jesse will be back up and running today. We had to do a lot of stupid little modifications to that little bracket. The bolt was too big for it. We had to spread out the two sides. We had to reposition stuff, weld stuff. Just a lot of little steps. It happens. Part of custom work. Can't be afraid to cut something up and remake it. You really can't. So, granted, it's not my truck, so I'm a little more willing. Alright, a little bit later on in the day, we started working on the fuel tank, the sending unit at the top of it. We started working on that a little bit. Like I said, we're bouncing back and forth. So basically what we're doing, this is a boring bar right here, this whole contraption. Oops, sorry. I already started a hole here, about a 1-inch wide, hole for our electrical pass-throughs. Ray's messing around with setup, and this is 3/4 of the issue with machining, is setup. what he's going to do is take that little tool he's messing with now. If you ever get your hand out of the way, I could show people. It's kind of rude. But he's just basically setting everything up right now. It is a tedious freaking process. So, what he's basically going to do is make that 1-inch hole about 1.25 inches wide and 375 deep. About 375 thousandths deep. Okay, which is 3/8 of an inch, sorry. We speak in decimals here. That's how much room we got to deal with. It's about 1/8 inch in there. I've already measured it, figured it out. And of course, this is in the fuel side. Anyway, so we got to drill all that out nice and square. And I say drill, we need to mill it out nice and square. But the bits on those are actually really cool. I'll show you guys one right quick. This little guy here. Yoink. There you go. Just a little brazed carbide bit. It's not one of the expensive ones. We bought this kit as an experiment, essentially, to see if it would work on the machine and whatnot. So if it didn't, we're out $70 as opposed to $300. But yeah, this basically hooks on that piece, goes around in a circle, and it carves out the edges, and it carves down. It carves both ways, both directions at the same time, essentially. I know it's hard to see, and this thing won't focus. Yep, but that's a cutting tip right there. It's facing you now. So we're gonna do that right quick, because when that bit touches that aluminum, it's gonna get stupid loud. I've already had to delete a lot of footage off this because of that. You couldn't hear nothing. Anyway, we're gonna get to do machining stuff. We just got the second hole done. We figured, like I said, shut the camera off, keep the noise down, because these little things are extremely loud. So that's basically it for the sending unit part of the tank. Not much more we can do. Yeah. So we're gonna move on to other things.
End of the day.
Yep. Finally, we made it. We survived.
Jesse's fixed.
So far so good. We got 2 things accomplished. Alternator is now not like cocked, and 2, ever since he's had this thing, I've been giving him a ration about the dipstick tube because it just floated. We fixed that finally after fucking.
When I rebuilt the engine, it never quite sat. The bracket, everything was MIA. It never really sat. It just wobbled a lot. It's never been an issue, but it's still annoying.
It's fixed. Fires right up. Oh yeah. Yep. All right, so it's Friday. Later in the day. I can't win with this one. Got a last piece of our fuel tank here. This finally showed up last night. A little filler neck. But I mean, it's kind of later in the day. I've been out doing wrecker stuff. Then you get the big truck over there, kind of hanging. Where is it? Right over there, hanging out. Oh yeah, Ray had there's no tree things over there. That too. Ray had to deal with that. So we're here now. We're gonna see what we can get done. I don't know what we're gonna do because it is Friday late in the day. Blah blah blah. So we'll find something to get into.
Drive shaft and skid plate.
Ah, good point. So that mammal over there.
The beast.
Boop. Yep, the beast over there. We got to put the front drive shaft in. We've had it. It just we haven't put it in.
I haven't put it in since the transmission was rebuilt. Just
we just haven't done it.
There was other things that we were doing to the truck, and it was just, we'll worry about that later.
It's later. Then we got the skid plate for the T case, I believe, right?
Yes, I have. I got the skid plate. It's around here. So.
I think it's back over there behind everything. But yeah, so we're gonna try to get that done. At least get something done today. Okay. Yep, end of the week. Once again, we survived. It's Friday.
Not sure how.
End of the day. Yeah, no one got blown up, so that's good. Basically, you get his drive shaft in, and we rebuilt the shock with the lift gate that sprung the other day.
For the swing gate, yeah.
Had to, I don't know, shit happens. We got it fixed, either way. What I'm working on is the fuel tank stuff. Been doing a lot of calculations and math stuff, just trying to figure things out. Which
Trying to figure out where we're gonna mount stuffs.
Yep. So, basically just made these little brackets. Tank will sit on these. These will sit on the exo cage. This will be towards the. Sorry, this end will be towards the cab. The other end will be towards the back of the truck. It'll have
Hungry.
This end will be towards the back of the truck. It'll have a nut welded to it and all that fun stuff. But anyway, so like I said, I've been doing a lot of calculating, trying to figure out where to place stuff. Where are they at? Right here. These little tabs here, like I said, they're going to go on top of the tank. Figuring out where to put those, where they'd be at the best structural advantage, and blah, 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 and not rip the metal. Then we had to figure out where to put this little guy for a fuel tank, or a filler. So we got it all figured out. Now all we got to do is do it. You guys don't see a lot behind the scenes. It might seem like we don't get much done, but we have a bad habit of overthinking stuff. And then again, we've never had a failure on anything we've built. Not yet. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah.
So, like I said, there's a lot of calculations, a lot of math, a lot of what ifs, and asking ourselves, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we're not going to bore you with. I'm pretty sure if we just record the past, hour of us talking about where to put 2 tabs on a fuel tank, you'd be bored to tears. I know I would. I was. Yeah. But anyway, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We know you ain't doing nothing. Hit that. Yeah. Hit it. Come on.
Hit the button there in the lower left corner of the screen if you're watching on your phone.
Yeah.
Leave a comment.
Yeah, you know it. Just hit the button. Dude, it's not that hard. Really isn't. Until next week.
Later. We did propose a drag race on this. He who death wobbles the fastest loses.
Yeah, that's what we kind of figured. However, why is it that the best quality Dodge parts are made by the Ford guys?
So a little bit later in the day, I had some record stuff to go do.
So in a nutshell, we're done for the day.
And the week. Oh no, we got one more day.
Yeah, we got one more day. Yeah.
Jesus.
Trust me,
You're the one that has to edit it.
Oh yeah.